The journalist and commentator Selim Atalay. Thank you very much for coming in, Selim. Now, you're a keen observer of U.S. politics. You were a journalist in the United States. So let's start with the American angle here.
Sure.
The Americans seem to regard terrorists as good terrorists and bad terrorists. They're working with the YPG terror group. So what is it that the White House doesn't understand about the connection between the PKK terror group and its Syrian arm, the PKK terror group? Is it that they don't understand, or they don't want to acknowledge that they don't understand?
Okay, we have to start with President Trump. Apparently he has been very bored at the White House Oval Office in the last few days. Weekend was apparently very boring for him. He actually tweeted a few times on that. And he has this business about the wall and everything. And of course, it's very stressful. Now, he tweets out policy. And at this point, we can just make a difference between President Trump himself and the rest meaning the National Security Council, headed by John Bolton, and then there's Secretary Pompeo. Secretary Pompeo seems to be the closest that is singing to the tune of Mr. Trump, but I'm not sure that's certain about Mr. Bolton. Now, with these tweets, yes, there is a threat. Turkey doesn't operate well under threat. But the main message, I think, is that the U.S. is seriously withdrawing from Syria. Or actually, correction, President Trump is withdrawing from Syria. That's for certain. And number two, he is also opening a way for Turkey to enter Syria without firing a shot, and even at a set territory of about 20 miles from the border. Now, Turkey might even extend this if it deems suitable, but 20 miles is probably that M4 highway, which was the target of the envisaged operation beforehand. Now, if Donald Trump keeps this policy on track, then Turkey has no problem with that. Again, with that threat part, Turkey can ignore that. It's not that serious. Plus, there's a serious warning for the other side, which says, do not provoke Turkey. Now, for the Kurds versus the others, Donald Trump is unfortunately using this term wholesale. He should have known by now, but probably they weren't. The staff wasn't telling him much, that there are Kurds and there are sworn armed groups who have sworn to fight the Turkish Republic to the end, and Turkey has an issue with those. Otherwise, Kurds are citizens, compatriots, neighbors, spouses, friends. So there's a difference.
So the YPG is potentially a danger to Turkish security. Yes. You know, you talk about that safety corridor.
Yes.
These lands that the YPG control are not some distant locations. You can see them very clearly from the border between Turkey and Syria. Right. Manbij, right. That city is just 35 kilometers from the Turkish border. When the Americans leave, how much more complicated is it going to get for Turkey? While its military is on the border waiting to launch that potential operation against the YPG, what are the possible dangers of the YPG asking the Damascus regime for more assistance, having already said to the regime, please come and help us in Manbij?
Exactly. Then that message of don't provoke Turkey is in play at that point. Don't provoke Turkey. That is a very provocative act, if you ask me. Now, again, the details of this, whatever Donald Trump has in mind, needs to be ironed out between the military to military talks, which are expected this week. And I think James Jeffrey is coming to Turkey this week, and also he's supposed to be carrying something that Washington Post mentioned, a map of where Kurdish population and Arab population and other ethnic groups are in Syria, and one observer apparently or reportedly mentioned this as Sykes-Picot on acid. Now, acid or not, but Turkey has very clear security concerns, and Manbij was supposed to be handed over to the Turkish army a long time ago, and the U.S. is now withdrawing. Those are the facts we have in hand. Also, Mr. Pompeo's message that Turkey has a legitimate right to protect its borders. So when combined, all of these, whatever Turkey deems necessary will happen. That's the bottom line.
Selim, the issue of military hardware that the Americans have been giving to the YPG, how critical is it? And is it even possible for the Americans to take that equipment back with them and not leave it in the hands of the YPG?
That is a major problem. Heavy weaponry is very obvious, not easy to hide. They can be taken away, or they can be taken out very easily. But the light weaponry and other dangerous stuff, such as anti-tank rockets and stuff, are an issue. And I think the Turkish expression is, if you provide the poison, you can provide the antidote too. So the U.S. is up to the U.S. to provide the antidote at this point.
Selim Atalay, it's always a pleasure to have you into the studio. Thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.